What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up and Chat. My name is BJ Mathews, aka B. Just before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast, Spotify, Iheartradio, Twitter, TikTok, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on my Instagram, BJizzle, BJIZZLE. Follow my co-host, Rick Master, at RickMasters23. You know what I'm saying? Hit that notification bell on the top of the screen next to the subscribe button to get all of our updated content. Let's get it popping. So breaking news. I got some breaking news for you guys. Last night, Chris Haynes, NBA sports reporter, just informed the NBA against that Paul George will return as early as the second week of March if the MRI results are clean in his elbow with the torn UCL. He'll return back to the Clippers back as early as the second week of March. So I'm going to go through this video about my thoughts about what Chris Haynes reported, as well as do I feel like it's a good idea, and do I feel like Kawhi Leonard will be back, as well as some of the other suggestions that I've heard with the Clippers organization. So let's get it going. So check it out. It didn't surprise me what Chris Haynes reported. Paul George has been working out at the Clippers facility, shooting shots with his left hand. He's been in the gym. He's been taking it easy on that elbow, but he's been active. So it wasn't like he hasn't been in the gym being active. So it didn't surprise me what Chris Haynes reported. So he wants to come back. Paul George does not want to sit out this entire season, especially when you look at the team that they have now with the Clippers. They have a chance to win the championship. Their team has been beating teams that are top tier. You talk about they beat Golden State a couple nights ago. They beat the Phoenix Suns earlier this season, even though they lost by 7 last night in a close game. And really it came down to just bad shot selection by Reggie Jackson because of his legs being tired and things of that nature, while the Phoenix Suns were, coming in fresh. That's what it really came down to. This team is deep. They're the deepest team in the league. So if you got a situation when you have a team that's actually playoff ready, and you bring your two best players to come back, as well as Norman Powell, who's arguably their third best scorer, next to Reggie Jackson, there's no time for you to sit down and be like, just wait till next season. Why wait on something that can work for this season and next season? My thing is this. Paul George tore his UCL in his elbow. The UCL muscle is right here in his elbow, connected to his arm, right? PG tore his UCL 2 months ago. The Clippers, when they had Paul George, were the top 5 seed. When he went down, they started to go down to the 8th seed. But the way the Clippers, how much they've lost, they should not even be in the playoff picture. They should be down at the bottom of the barrel with teams like New Orleans, San Antonio, Sacramento, things of that nature. They should not be in the same breath as, the top 8 teams in the Western Conference. But they are. There's no reason for him to sit. Nicholas Batum, if y'all remember, had the same injury as a Paul George. They sat him out for, I believe, 11 games, which is about 4 to 6 weeks, and he came back fine. So I didn't ever think that surgery was an option for Paul George. That injury that he sustained is mainly for baseball players. So you have 2 options. You can either get surgery and stay out for the entire season, or you can get rest and let that thing heal naturally. So the Clippers didn't want to shut Paul George down, smartly so, because it's like, why waste another season if you guys have the pieces now? And if you don't have to do it, you can just rest that arm. So I feel like I never believed that he was going to have to get that surgery. So it doesn't surprise me what Chris Haynes say. Next with Kawhi, I've been consistent. I will continue to be consistent and quoted, Kawhi Leonard will be back by March. Mark my words. Kawhi Leonard will be back by March. That's not wishful thinking. That's not being objective. That's not being optimistic. That is what the evidence is leading to. We've heard report after report after report that Kawhi Leonard is looking great. He's already playing 2-on-2. He's in the gym. He's working out. We've heard reports from Chris Haynes that he's actually looking to come back by March. We heard from Kawhi Leonard himself earlier this season at Media Day that he wants to come back if he's healthy enough to come back. So that throws away that notion that Kawhi Leonard just wants to sit out and he doesn't want to compete and all that. Throws all that notion out because the man said he's ready to come back if he is healthy enough. And just by those two watching all this, what the Clippers have done this season, battling from 25, 30, 35 points a game, take it from somebody who plays basketball. If you are the best player on the team or you're the star player and you see your guys battling, that makes you want to go out there and compete. Now, it'd be one thing if the Clippers were trash and they didn't compete, they weren't playing hard, they weren't winning games, then okay, well, there's no reason for me to come back. But if my team is actually competing, winning, and playing hard, I'm going to want to be a part of that because I know what's at stake. Kawhi Leonard at the end of the day wants to win. He has the winningest percentage in the playoffs. You can talk about San Antonio, he played with them. It still doesn't change the fact of what he did in Toronto, it doesn't change the fact of what he's done without San Antonio or without Tim Duncan being there. So give that man his credit. The dude is a winner. And he came to the Clippers to win a championship. And this year, fully constructed, the Clippers will beat anybody in the West. They have all the tools to beat anybody. They have the coaching, the outside shooting, the defense, the youth, the length, the experience, the superstar in Kawhi Leonard, the all-star in Paul George, the supplementary pieces of Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, Amir Coffey, Luke Kennard, Ivica Zubac, all these guys they got on this team, man, there's no weak links. You know what I'm saying? There's no weak links. So the fact that they've beaten up better team, they've beaten top teams like Brooklyn, like Phoenix, like Denver, like Philly, like Golden State, they've beaten every single top team without their two best players, gives me the cause to pause. Like, why am I gonna sit out another whole season? That makes absolutely no sense. Um, I think, well, from what I've been hearing, Kawhi and PG will be returning by March. People can continuously talk about Kawhi's history, saying that he doesn't play and he doesn't play through pain. You guys are y'all are using one situation in San Antonio that he did not want to be there as the entire argument of your stance, but you're not bringing up the fact that he played hurt when he was in Toronto. You got to mention the fact that he played when he got hurt last year in the playoffs when Joe Ingles bumped him and he tore his ACL. He was still out there trying to play. It wasn't until it was diagnosed that his ACL was torn, which is why he's out the whole playoffs. So if he's able to play, then he's going to play. So I just think it's a waste of time. I'm going to close this out. I think it's a waste of time to have him wait and have PG wait out another season because they're fully healed. If they're fully healed, you're ready to play. Take it from somebody who tore his Achilles twice. Once I tore my Achilles and I rested, I got my surgery, I did all my physical therapy, it was no longer, oh, well, if I come back, I'm going to re-injure it, I'm going to tear it again. That's not how those injuries work. Once you tear it, once you've been healed, you're healed. So since Kawhi Leonard, that injury, from what I understand, is a 3 to 6 month injury, he got hurt in July, we're in February, it's past 6 months. So it makes sense why he's actually working out and doing all this stuff behind the scenes because he's already fully healed. This stuff that he needs to wait another whole season to be sure, that to me, that's a cop out. He's ready to play now. Get him back on the court. This team is ready to compete and go for the championship this year and next year and beyond. Simple. But that's my analysis. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think. Continue to follow us on our YouTube page. You continue to follow us on all our social media: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Iheartradio, Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Be blessed. Pull up a seat, pull up a chair, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.